Hi again, subscribers. Well, no, this is hello for the first time. I'm saying hi to the subscribers to the YouTube channel and to my Reddit subreddit, Extruded Element. You guys got me excited. This is the first day that yesterday the patent application was published, so I felt confident in sharing information with the public. And today was the release of the website. So this video is about messing around with the extruded element parameters. Just so you don't feel like you're going to mess something up by changing things, I decided I would do that for you. Not the messing up part, but hopefully guide you through some of it. So hopefully you got to the point of downloading OpenSCAD. And then again, either through a link on the About Software section of the website, extrudedelement.com, you can get to the GitHub repository and just copy that stuff and paste it. So pressing F6 on that library as it comes in from GitHub, we again get this tessellation. So I just want to play around with it so you guys feel comfortable, guys and gals feel comfortable adjusting parameters willy-nilly. So again, you go to the top, don't worry about the bulk of it until you get excited about OpenSCAD in general and feel comfortable manipulating things. So type of element, I'm just going to cycle through these. There's 0, gives you a square element with end hooks. 1, which is triangle, and then 2, which is hexagonal. And these have 4, 3, and 6 connections respectively. So something that's turned on right here, a parameter that's activated here that is making it appear in this kind of web, spider web looking shape is element ligaments. It's called, here we go, line 79, element center support chamfer. If I turn that guy off, it gives you simply the basics of as if each element came to its epicenter. So a hexagonal element type 2, will actually create an isogrid, triangular structure. The triangular elements create a hexagonal structure. And strangely enough, the squares don't make some other shape. The square elements make square structures in appearance. So those are all the ligament only options. So if I then go down to E-fill, line 44 here, E-fill, element fill, and I change the element fill to 1. I would like to fill the elements. Again, that fills the elements, and you got 0, 1, you got triangles, and then you have hexagons. There you go. So those are the 3 types. Ligament and filled are the 2 basic types of that I've made available in this. You can, of course, go wild and have somewhere in between some ligaments, some perforated, and things of that sort. So those are 2 ways you can modify elements that are really neat. Again, in the other videos, you saw types of hooks. There are only 2 in this program, but you could have triangular hooks if you work out the geometry. You could have like where it goes down. It's like a rotated version of this square hook. If you rotate that by 45 degrees, you could get some benefits out of that. But if I change that to a 2, and I change type of hook to a 1, meaning now we're working with rounded hooks, and I change the size of the hook, S_H, to something larger, because for some reason I like the larger of the rounded hooks, get something like that. So I'm going to take it down to 2 to cycle again through the element types. So we got element type of hexagon. F6 gives you element type of triangle. And change that to 0 and press F6 again. Element types of squares, all with rounded hooks. So you get an idea of how these start to look with the various shapes. And with rounded hooks too, you're able to change the element fill back to 0. They look kind of goofy, and maybe it's more just for aesthetics, but you can see here these are really really interesting hooks here. So this, in a ligament only setting, there is a whole section down here called line 72 here on ligament only options. So this is super narrow, I would say, for the size of the hook. So these ligament only options refer to whenever you've set element fill to 0, and you go down to ligament only, and you can change S_EL, size of the element ligament. So I'm going to change that to 10 times the original size that it was there. See what it looks like. So yeah, that gives you something that might look a little more appropriate. Let's work with square hooks. Change type hook to 0. And when you do ligament only with square hooks, I've offered down in the ligament only section, I've offered also this element center support chamfer. That's a mouthful. But what it means is that, do I have any straight elements? What it means is that instead of having a direct square connection to the ligament, it's got a taper going down into the ligament, which you can see in my following my mouse right here, this taper. So if it's set to 0 right now. Let's see if that's the inverse of what it should be. Oh, that's a element support chamfer. Oh, here it is. Hook to element chamfer. I'm sorry. Hook to element chamfer. When you change that to 0, now it goes to something more that's like characteristic of a mosaic or something more artistic and less structural. So yeah, you can turn those hook to element chamfers on there in line 76. That's pretty fun to mess around with. And let's just for fun take a look at what each of the element types look like. Hexagonal and excuse me, that last one was triangular, and this is hexagonal because a hexagonal makes the isogrid shape. And again, these are all working with the if you go down to line 87 to 105, you can see executed code here. These are working with tessellate, so you can give it some depth by uncommenting and commenting out other sections and take a look at what kind of extruded elements you really got. Anyways, I hope this gives you a better comfort level with messing around with these parameters. There aren't too many here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 will affect the basics of the elements. And these fitment options are covered in the instructions, just reducing them to increase clearance between parts. Sample height is important when you do that sampling step in the instructions. So sample height will allow you to, let's see if I can change it here. Okay, so this is working off of height, but sample height will allow you to print off something much shorter for trial fitting if you're doing 3D printing. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this.